Welcome to Casually Cryptid, a show where I try to make heads or tails of all the weird-ass creatures that may or may not inhabit our messed up world. I'm your host, PieAndLove, but you can call me Bella. I know I've been away for many months, but it's spooky season. Got my ghost hoodie on. Shout out to Sonia who bought it for me. Seems like I just collect sweatshirts from my friends through donations or through them just buying me shit, which is great. I love it. Thanks, you guys. Shout out to you who've done that. But here I am doing another video, and we're gonna have accompaniment by the gerbils who have decided that it's time to chew on everything. So that'll be fun. That's what you will hear in the background, because the mic will pick it up. I know it will. We're all familiar with the critically reviewed show Finding Bigfoot, right? Well, I'm a huge fan of trashy, creepy TV like that. Ghost hunting shows, other cryptid hunting shows, stuff of that nature. But by far, my favorite of these kinds of shows is Mountain Monsters. If you don't know Mountain Monsters, then I will allow these clips from the show to speak for themselves so you understand just what is so special about this show.
We're in eastern Kentucky, and we're going after the wild man. I believe he was kicked out of the Midnight Whisperers clan, and he set up shop right here in eastern Kentucky. See anything, Huck? No, I don't see a thing, Trapper. Ah! Trapper! 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 All right? Trapper! What happened? You okay? You all right? Yeah. What happened? That son of a bitch was right there. He's still in here. Right here? Yeah.
Bumping around. Remember that rock was on to come clear down into the creek where we sat.
Oh, is that right?
Oh my God.
Boys, the hunt started.
That was close. That was real close. We just heard the Yahoo scream. It's more powerful than I ever imagined. It shook my chest.
That was definitely him out of a squall, wasn't he? Climb. Man, that Yahoo, it sounded like a locomotive when they let that big old squall out. Scared the living daylights out of me.
You was butt naked. Swum out of it.
Oh, my God! Why indeed? It's Huckleberry! Why indeed?
Huckleberry?
Huckleberry!
This Snallygaster has got a hell of a screech to it. It weighs 800 pounds. Hell, it can grab up 2 coyotes at once and pull the chain and all up out of frozen ground and then fly off with the damn thing. This Snallygaster is one badass flying creature. He's getting closer, guys.
There he is!
He's in the air.
Move, move, move!
Keep your eyes up. Keep your eyes up.
Right here, we're getting this log pile.
Get in, Trapper.
Get these logs over our head.
Come on, guys. Everybody in?
Yeah, come on. Come on.
We got the devil in the sky, boys. We got the devil in the sky.
These guys remind me of the men that my mom was in an archery club with when I was younger. Just good old boys from the backwoods who were just a tad bit too trigger happy and all around wild. However, these men in this show introduced me to the world of Appalachian cryptids, and by God, is it a large world. Last episode, we covered the Goat Man of Beltsville, Maryland. In this episode, we're gonna stick around in the Maryland area for just a little bit longer as we delve into the legend of the Snallygaster. The Snallygaster was originally spotted by German immigrants who settled in the Frederick County, Maryland area in the 1700s. The settlers called it Snallygaster. I don't know German. That is German, and it is German for quick spirit. This creature was described as being half bird, half reptilian, and it would fly down from the skies and pick up little small game and farm animals and pets that were left unattended, and also small children, because what cryptid doesn't like preying on the weak, small children? So you think bird and reptile. Dragon, right? Except it sometimes is also described as having tentacles, like an octopus. Okay, so octopus dragon, right? In the book Monsters of Maryland, Elkton, Maryland native Ed Okonowicz says that one description of the Snallygaster is as follows. The creature has been described as having a very long, up to 25-foot wingspan, claws with sharp talons made of hot glowing metal, a long pointed beak, and a third red blazing eye right in the middle of its forehead. Okay, so it's a really effed up pteranodon. Let's just go with that. Except in a lot of artistic renderings, this creature's depicted as having very fluffy, feathery wings, like a bird. So, basically, we just don't know what this creature looks like. It's up to your imaginations and mine. The creature is also said to have this putrid, disgusting sulfuric smell that you would really think would drive away prey, but apparently it doesn't, which I just don't understand. But, I mean, do I look like a Snallygaster? Do I look like I would understand? Most public interest in the Snallygaster arose in either 1906 or 1909. Many sources seem to disagree on the date, when an article in Middletown, Maryland's Valley Register was written about a man who was allegedly seized by the creature, drained of all his blood, and then dropped unceremoniously on a hillside. Its footprints were later discovered in New Jersey, of all places, and at this point the creature was well known all throughout the Appalachias. This crossover event that happened in Jersey with the footprints and everything leads me to believe that maybe there was some confusion with the Jersey Devil, which most avid cryptozoologists and enthusiasts should know, because the two creatures are described oddly similarly. So, there's that. The creature was then sighted in West Virginia and almost caught a woman near Scrabble. Is that a real town? Okay, Scrabble is a real town in West Virginia, in Berkeley County. So, for those who aren't native to the area, that is decently close to Frederick, so keep that in mind. After this West Virginia sighting, it headed back to Maryland and apparently laid an egg in a barn in Sharpsburg, which is just so random. By the way, random history fact that's not really random, the bloodiest battle of the Civil War was fought in Sharpsburg. The timeline is pretty murky on the rest of these sightings, so I'm just going to try to go through them really quickly. Snally Pally was then seen in Cumberland, Maryland, when a man fired up a kiln and found the creature roosting on the kiln and then saw it fly away with a horrifying screech when he disturbed it. It was shot at near Hagerstown, Maryland, was seen in Casstown, Ohio, by a man, and then the last sighting for a while in the Frederick County area was by 3 men who fought it off near a railroad station before chasing it off into Carroll County, because I guess they decided, we'll let Westminster deal with it. All of this Snallygaster press, specifically the stuff that happened in the early days of the sightings, managed to garner the attention of one President Theodore Roosevelt, who apparently considered postponing an African safari trip in favor of going to hunt this wacky dragon in the Appalachias. Then Snallygaster disappeared for a bit, 23 years in fact. The first reports after this hiatus were from South Mountain in Washington County, Maryland. These reports stated that the creature was flying towards the Middletown Valley, so you can kind of see that there's sort of grouping of where this thing lives and hangs out. Somehow people surmised that the lifespan of a Snallygaster is about 20 years, hence why it vanished for 20-some years. A certain Snally Pally event that people often discuss when they bring up sightings of the Snallygaster was in 1932, when a 14-foot one of these creatures allegedly fell into a vat of mash that a moonshiner had made. Apparently the creature was drawn to the smell, but it ended up drowning. However, you can't really lend a lot of credence to this story because the moonshiner was probably very, very tipsy. Very tipsy. Jumping forward to 1948, the Snallygaster was sighted soaring above Westminster, Maryland. And jumping forward again, in 1973, Maryland State Police launched a huge search in Sykesville for a creature that matched Snallypally's description, apparently, though maybe they were just looking for the Sykesville monster. I don't know. 3 years later, the Washington Post apparently sponsored a hunt for this creature along with other Maryland cryptids, though I can't find any concrete evidence of that ever happening. There haven't been any Snallygaster sightings recently, unless you count the mountain monsters stuff, in which case, don't. However, its presence still exists in popular media, such as the Harry Potter and Fallout franchises, where it appears in different incarnations of its original description. There is also a beer festival in DC named after it, so that's something. At least the area is not gonna forget the Snallygaster anytime soon. We don't know if the Snallygaster is ever gonna make another appearance in the world, but we can hope. And I hope Snallypally's doing okay wherever he is, if he exists. And that is the legend of the Snallygaster of the Appalachias. I'll link to all my sources for the video in the description below so you can research this legend yourself if you want. If you enjoyed this video, don't be afraid to give it a like. If you've got a cryptid that you want me to talk about in a future video, comment below and I'll consider it. And if you want to see more content from me, click on the links in the screen now and subscribe. That's all for now. Stay creepy, kids.